Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Successful Nurse Coach podcast. I am joined today with Kathleen Meleedy. She is a fellow nurse coach. I can't wait to share her story with all of you. It's a really, really good one. But I'm excited to bring another guest onto the podcast today. You get to hear from one of the voices of our community, a strong voice at that. And welcome, Kathleen, to the podcast. So happy to have you.
Thank you. Thanks so much, Shelby. I really appreciate that.
Yeah. So we're going to get into why Kathleen is on the podcast here in a moment. Kathleen is crushing it in private practice currently. But first, Kathleen, can you give everybody who's listening and maybe doesn't know you quite yet the background? Like, what was your nursing experience like? How did you find nurse coaching? Catch us up to speed here.
Yeah. Hope you have a minute. It's been a little while. I became a nurse in 1996, so almost 29 years ago. Was a baby nurse in the ER straight out of school. 18 years I spent at the ER. I quickly went to leadership like this in a couple of years at the ER and was the director about 9 years before I left. And left for personal reasons, but in retrospect, was a good time for me to leave. I was burnt out. There was a lot of things going not well in the ER. This is prior to 2020. I found a primary care company that I started working for. That's where I've been for the last 10-ish years or so. I became a clinic manager and an RN in a primary care clinic company that was national, and actually worked across the country in different clinics, managing clinics and being the nurse and really being a nurse advocate for primary care. Like, how do we take care of patients in the proactive, not reactive way?
Yeah.
I was really excited about where I was because we had health coaches. This has been about 10 years ago. We had health coaches at our clinics. Each patient got a health coach. We had a team nurse. We had a team behavioral health specialist. Everybody had a provider, which could be an NP or a physician. And it was just really patient-centered care. And I learned so much in those years of primary care, this patient-centered primary care practice. And I recognized that coaching was the way to get people healthier and keep people out of the hospital, not just making discharge phone calls or whatever else that we were doing at the hospital. And I really valued the way we used our health coaches. They were not medically trained, but they spoke the language of the people that we were serving and were from the community, and they were really good relationship builders. But I also saw the value of, like, there was a gap. Like, I had to shadow them and watch them and make sure they weren't giving medical advice because they were untrained, and like trying to figure out, like, is there a way that we could do coaching and actually be a clinical person. So I found nurse coaching probably in 2017 or 2018, but really hadn't done anything with it, just continued working my job. And this year, on February 28th, was my last day at my corporate healthcare primary care job. And I dove right into my nurse coaching career, which I absolutely love.
Yeah. So Kathleen, you join us in kind of like the most audacious version of nurse coaching, to where you're like, I'm going to quit my job and then build the parachute on the way down, which is what Laura did. It's what I did. And I don't know if we all have maybe a little wire loose that allows us to do that, but that's not the path of many. Like, it's pretty bold and pretty brave to do that. So I'm curious, like, what was that decision like for you to do the full send into your practice?
Yeah, I think it was a matter of, I worked for a very large company. My primary care company was acquired by a larger primary care company and then acquired by a very large national worldwide company. And I was like, okay, anybody's going to train primary care, they will. And I stuck around for about 3 years, and I recognized this is not going to happen. It's not going to happen with coaches. It's not going to happen like to really transform healthcare in the way that people need it. So last year, I had a grandson in February of last year, and I had knee surgery in the same week. And I took some time and to slow down after I had my knee surgery, and I was trying to help my daughter with my grandson, and was like, okay, I need to do something different on my own terms. And I've been fighting for 10 plus years for nurses to have the skills and the ability to be able to do a lot of things. And we're just shifting over to docs have to do more, and we're going to pile more on non-clinical people. So I took my certification class last year, and I decided somewhere along the line last year that I was going to work part-time, work and do my primary, my practice at the same time. But I had a epiphany, if you want to call it that. The company I worked for, they gave us a sabbatical every 5 years. So in my sabbatical, I took in December, I went to Kenya for a couple of weeks to go do a safari all by myself. And I was sitting out in the middle of Kenya with my little driver, and we were watching some lions sleep. And I was like, what in the world am I doing? I need to just quit my job and just do this. This is wonderful. I'm sitting here watching a lion sleep. And I never had thought in the world that I would have to slow down. And I knew that if I quit my job, if I kept working and dove into my own coaching practice, I would be working twice as much and more stressed. And that's not really exactly what I wanted. I wanted to be able to spend time with my family and help my daughter and do this and make my own hours and help people in my own way.
Yeah. Ooh, okay. So to make this really nerdy for everybody who's listening to Kathleen, this is what it looks like to know your values and then to take action based on your values, even if it's scary or abrupt or make the big pivot. But what I'm hearing here is I I can like visualize you in Kenya and like the sun is setting and there's lions sleeping I'm there. And
I will send you a photo.
yeah, and it's this moment of like we're out of alignment here, and then where most people have a lot of trouble, Kathleen, is then making the pivot, and it sounds like it was very clear for you just to be able to zoop, move.
Yeah, and Shelby, you and Laura actually have I've been listening to you guys for a little over a year. I felt like you guys were taking a different view of like how to help nurse coaches once we got done with certification. So I was really excited to like finish and get done with my job and say sayonara, close my computer and walk away and like really learn new things. This is the first time in a long time I've been excited to learn new stuff.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that. And correct me if I'm wrong here, Kathleen.
Yeah.
I think you joined Make the Leap without any kind of call with our team, right?
I did talk to Laura in like January.
Okay, so before. Okay, perfect. Because I remember seeing your name float across my screen, and I was like, I didn't have a call with Kathleen. Who had a call with Kathleen?
It wasn't you.
She's so brave to just jump into the group. Okay, that makes sense. So you started Make the Leap. You guys started in April.
Yeah.
Yep. Then this is where I get to like let the cat out of the bag. Kathleen has a few more sessions in Make the Leap at the time that we are recording this, but you've signed 10 clients since you started, which is, and someone will correct me if I'm wrong who's listening to this, but I'm pretty sure that's a new like successful nurse coach record just across the board here. So whenever I heard Kathleen being like, I just signed my 10th paid client, as a coach, I had questions. I was like, I bet Kathleen isn't charging at what she should be charging, or I bet she's selling one session at a time, or I limited you, Kathleen, immediately, and I was like, hey, Kathleen, what are you charging? What, tell 10? And you're like, no, like she's charging a great rate. She's done all the things. She's followed the book that we have given her, and you've generated. I mean, I know that this hasn't all hit your bank account, maybe necessarily yet, but to crunch the numbers for everybody, that's about $30,000 in 12 weeks, which is insane. It's so cool.
Amazing.
It's so cool.
It is. It's really exciting.
What do you think has allowed you to operate at that speed?
Well, there's a couple of things. I am a single person. I have no spouse. So it's all on me. I do have like a little bit of a cushion that I had planned out before I left work. So enough in savings to last me X amount of months. And I was like, okay, I just need to make this amount of money in this month. But also I think that part of it has been, while I have the experience in historically around coaching and how well coaching works, but I also have just the style of relationship building that people like are very comfortable around me. And that paired with really the Making the Leap course, I was like spinning my wheels getting. I paid for the course and I went through the coursework in like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, what do I need to do first? And really, you got to just coach your ass off, coach 100 hours. And that was the best advice I've ever had. Because I was running down rabbit of like, do I my website and should I start a group program and all of these,
Yeah.
like, that I go out into the community. There was a lot of things that were going through my head, and that helped me focus on just getting really good at talking to people, making proposals, just getting to like the gap in where they are now to where they want to be and being really comfortable to be able to do all that.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, the 100 hours really was the biggest piece of it.
Yeah. I get the sense, Kathleen, that you probably would have done anything to be successful and that your brain was trying to find something to like website, group coaching, like find something to sink its teeth into. And we were able to give you just a
Yeah.
really highly potent return on an investment activity for you to sink into and run with, which is beautiful and wonderful. And I also want to frame here too, because in my questioning Kathleen on like, oh my gosh, how did you create 10 clients in essentially 10 weeks? Is what is the number of volume of connections that you did during that time? And you came back with
It was a
some
lot.
really big numbers, Kathleen, and you graciously
Yeah.
shared that with your group. Do you mind sharing it here on just like to frame it for people, like what it takes to sign 10 paid clients?
Yeah. So it means a little bit of work in order to get 100 hours, and you really
Yeah.
have to like talk to everyone all the time. I made, well, I can say up to now because it's end of June. At this point, I've made 392 connections, so almost 400 people just connecting with them of like,
Yeah.
hey, you know, I have a new business or whatever. I invited 164 people and I had 45 proposals. And I
Yeah.
have 10 paying clients now.
Yeah.
So it's a lot. And I haven't had to go to another job either. So this is it. I've just
Yeah.
created the time that I needed to. I found weekends people really responded quickly on the Sunday mornings, scrolling on their phones. And I could send them a message and they would answer me.
Yeah.
Um, and most of the people, I think that one of the things that I also learned in Make Believe too is like, I don't have to go reach out to people I don't know. Like I do have two clients that were referred to me by other people who know about coaching, but
Yeah.
everybody else is people that I know, like people from my life in the past that are like, this is really cool. I love that you're doing this. I absolutely get on a free call with you.
Yeah.
And you just know when you're on with them that they're going to say yes. So invested in the conversation. And yeah, so that's where I'm starting is just, you know, people that I know that really want to change their life and do some things differently to have a different path. So
Yeah. Beautiful. Beautiful. And if everybody who just listened to Kathleen say that she reached out to almost 400 people to connect with them and you feel like you want to like barf hearing that, just do you have any like I have 200 podcast episodes pep talking people on this particular thing,
yeah,
Kathleen,
yeah,
but I want to
yeah.
I want them to hear it from you of like if you
Okay.
met someone who's just starting, what would you tell
I would say, okay, like I will be 100% honest. Like there are physicians that I used to work with that liked my Facebook post and were like, hey, this is really cool. That I was like, I'm not going to send them I'm not going to invite them into a conversation with me. But then I was like, you know what? Like, this is what I have to do. And I just like copy and paste a message and customize it to them. Hey, Greg, how are you? I'm really
Yeah.
glad you're supporting my new business. I'd love to give you a free session. And I just would be like, turn away and hit enter on the computer. Because it takes a little bit of guts to be able to talk to people about your new business. And especially when people are, really know what nurse coaching is.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I remember too, Kathleen, when I was a new nurse coach, and I would have a sticky note by my computer every day with 5 boxes on it. And I would make myself connect or invite 5 people every single day. And I would have to send those message. I would be in a full blown sweat. And then I would have to close my laptop and like walk out of my office because it was just so much. It was so big. It was so
Yeah, it is
big.
big. Yeah.
And I mean, now I probably do 50 connections a day. Like it's just like so embedded in the way that I show up to work. how do you feel about it now? Like if you had to message Dr. Greg one more time, like does that feel differently for you?
He's actually on my list. I'm actually going to text him because I have his phone number. I don't know why I messaged him on Facebook, but I'm gonna text him because I have his number. He will not be listening to this, so I don't have to worry that he's like, oh God, he's going to text me. Yeah, I feel so much more confident. And like I said, I just feel like the more you do it, the more into getting into coaching and helping people. Like this has just been the most valuable 3 months of my life. People just need to talk. They just need to be able to have a safe space. And it really doesn't matter who they are, right? It doesn't, they can be Joe Schmo on the side of the road or a physician. It doesn't matter. Like everybody needs the space. And I think that's what I recognize is that it's not just for, people that are looking for a quick fix. It's everyone needs that safe space.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I am hoping there's a particular client that I have right now who's just in my email or my inbox yesterday being like, Shelby, what do I have to offer to therapists and doctors and chiropractors? Like, what do I really have to offer? So you know who you are. I hope that this is hitting for her because even high achievers need a space to land. Even our leaders in our community need sacred space to unload and get care. So I'm proud of you, Kathleen, and I'm excited that you're going to text Dr. Greg after this call. It's beautiful. Okay. What about if we could go over, Kathleen, you've done so phenomenal. Like you've done so phenomenal, make the leap. But if you could go back to February when you quit your job and look at that Kathleen, I mean, that's 4 or 5 months ago, not very long.
Yeah.
Any advice you would give her from this position where you're at now?
Yeah. Yes. Well, one, I'm a high achiever. It was really hard for me to take a break. And I really only took about 3 weeks of like not doing work ish.
Yeah.
Nursing takes a lot out of you. And we are in this grind of like being a parent and getting our kids to school and taking care of them and going to work and serving people. We're servants in all sorts of ways that we as women, not all, but like the women that I know that have done all these roles of its mother and nurse and, trying to do all the things. I think that if I could go back to myself a couple months ago, I probably would have told myself to give myself a little bit more space to breathe my old life.
Yeah.
I'm still doing it. Like this week, I'm like, I told you I was packing, I was moving today. Have I done anything? No. Bought 2 boxes at Home Depot and I cleaned off a couple of things and my son-in-law is coming over to help. But I've been a slug on the couch and then I'm like, it's okay for me just to rest and take a break and breathe and know that this stuff will come and be confident in myself and know that it just takes time for people to come and say yes to you. I had somebody text me today that I texted 3 months, I have been talking to 3 months ago. She was really busy and I was in the line at Target and she texted me and was like, how do I make an appointment again?
Yes.
So I don't know. I just think that there is a grieving process from the old nursing work that we did in, I think you were ER as also. Like there's a lot of trauma that we go through in the hospital.
Yeah.
Or in traditional primary care, traditional healthcare. And then switching over to something that you have all the control over is just like, there's the grieving process that I'm going through. It's like trying to figure out like what is important in my life. Like I thought it was all of this stuff, but what else is included in all of that? So I think giving myself some grace around, yes, I killed it. And yes, I kind of have to, but I've slowed down a little bit on my connections this last few weeks because I would like to spend some time enjoying my family the next couple of weeks over the 4th of July.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, just trying to figure out my own boundaries for my own life.
Yes. Yes, yes, yes. I don't know if you also felt a sense of overwhelm. I did at one point where like, it's up to me to do, not to like do it all, but like to also keep myself in check so that you don't swing too far one way and like maybe get into old patterns that can lead to burnout. So your mind's in the right spot, Kathleen. 100%.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that kind of leads to the last question. And I want to ask you here is knowing that you are capable of so much and then also being able to kind of like reevaluate your values and your priorities and where you want things to stand. Any inkling on how you want business to look for the next 6 months.
Yeah, actually, I'm thinking about that a lot. Now that I'm at this spot, I was like, oh wow, I really didn't think I was going to be here this quickly. I honestly didn't.
Yeah.
I have a lot of big ideas. The reason I have a lot of big ideas is because I worked for a really amazing, innovative primary care company 10 years ago, and that gave me the space as a nurse to recognize there's so much innovation out there. Um, Kathleen would love to change the way nursing is viewed across the country. Like I would love for nursing schools to implement this in their nursing school
Mm,
programs all across the country. It should be part of our board's exam.
yeah.
It should be the way we think about patients. We should be able to bill for this. I just feel like that there's a bigger thing on my radar, and I'm not sure which direction I will head to get there. But right now, it's just one person at a time.
Yeah.
And that's where I'm going to be for probably the next 6 months or so. And I'm looking at 2026 with a different lens of like, okay, now I'm in charge.
To do that.
And what do I want it to look like? And I just want to make an impact because I feel like our patients, people across the country they've gotten the short end of the stick when it's come to healthcare. And
Mm,
nurses have all the tools to be able to care for them in the right way, whether it's starting IV or having a really nice conversation with open-ended questions and reflective listening and all of those things to try to help people be healthier, get healthier in their life. And just it's really complicated. And I've worked with over the last 10 years trying to push some of that agenda on these bigger companies that really it's not in their plan and it didn't
mhm.
make financial sense for them. So yeah, not exactly sure.
I love me a big soupy dream of like, I don't know how this happens, but I'm like open to it. I feel
Mhm.
like you and I are in a similar bucket together
Yeah.
on that one
Yeah.
of,
You guys are
and
doing amazing work.
thank you. Thank you. And so it's fun to talk to other visionaries that are kind of feeling the pull, and we don't have like a super tight grip on how it's gonna look or has to look, but we're like, all right, I'm probably gonna do something awesome and amazing, and I'm willing to just show up for dream and see
Yeah.
where it takes
Let's
me.
show up together. I love
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. So the now that everyone listening can hold your big soupy dream with you, Kathleen, it's like you're a plant, a seed in everybody's heart listening to this.
Hope
And if an
so. Hope
opportunity
so.
arises, they can loop you in. But yeah, I so appreciate you letting us peek behind the curtain here, just what the past few months has been like for you. You've done a great job. If you needed to earn the rest, Kathleen, you absolutely have. You don't have to earn the rest and the ease and the flow, but you did if it's easier that way. Any I know that I've asked you for like a lot of advice on this call, but maybe one last blurb to any little fresh nurse coach listening or a nurse thinking about becoming a nurse coach. Any words of wisdom you would want to give them before we
Yeah. Yeah. I think that having a dream of doing something that fills your cup up is really something that you should always keep in your back pocket because showing up for work every day and doing the work that we do is really hard and really sometimes soul sucking. And if people are just graduating cert or thinking about doing something different, like it's not mainstream yet, but like it's gonna be there. Like we are definitely gonna get there. There is definitely movement happening. And if you want to be on the ground floor, I would say now is the time to get in.
no. I'm
Now is the time.
Ooh, great way to end. Great way to end, Kathleen. And for anyone who's listening to this that wants to connect with Kathleen or follow along in our journey, I'll put the stuff in the description here below. But Kathleen, thank you, one, for jumping into our container and trusting us to help you. And like I can't wait. I can't wait to see what comes next.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate both you guys and Amy for our Make the Leap
Yeah.
leader. She's been wonderful, and I've learned so much in the last few months. This group of people, and I appreciate you guys.
Absolutely. Our honor. Our honor. All right, folks. If you want to come hang out with us in the Facebook group, you can find us, the Successful Nurse Coaches, on Facebook. And like I said, if you want to get a hold of Kathleen, I'll put her stuff in the description down below. And we'll see you same time, same place next week. Bye, everybody.